What's going on, everybody? I met a guy this last week that is a self-proclaimed well witcher, and as a plumber with 15 years in the trade, I always had a hard time with these guys, just because there's no tangible evidence that explains why these guys can do what they do. But at the same time, my grandfather used them on our ranch. My great-grandfather used them on our ranch. There's something to him. I met this guy and he says he's been doing it for about 10 years. I'm going to cover up the well that the hole that I've been digging on, and just see where he picks out excuse me, where he picks out the best place for us to dig. You can see the soil is just powder right now. We haven't had a good rain in probably 2.5 months. This is where I have started digging. I'm currently down about 13 feet, 14 feet, real caliche soil. This is what I started pulling out towards the end. It started getting more gravelly, but I hit rocks and I haven't been able to get much further. So I'm going to pull my my auger out of the ground, and I'm going to plug that post in there. And I'm not going to say anything about this particular piece or this particular spot on the property, and just kind of see what he says. My hope is that he will allow me to record. So we'll see what happens here. So how did you figure out that you could do this?
My dad done it, just kind of playing around a little bit. So after he died, I said, well, I can try it. So I started hitting them.
Really?
So I kept doing it, and then a couple people found out, and he wanted me to come and do theirs. And I started working out for him. I said, well, maybe I ought to start charging.
Do you call it witching or dowsing, or?
I call it witching. You can call it whatever you want. Engineers,
They call it
fiction.
they call it BS.
That's putting it in the good language. Because if an engineer, they can't prove it or how it works, they don't go for it. You know?
That's science with anything.
Notice I put the stakes in, so they're like this. This is the direction the channels are running.
Oh wow, sure enough.
And when I start walking this way, I'll cross them. Now I put stakes in this way.
Okay.
See where we're at. Kept on it, and they were crossed all the way down. So this is the direction that channel goes.
Okay.
If I get a couple over there, one of them's down lower, and I look at it, and I think it would go that way. But it's going this way here. So what I'm going to do then, I'm going to go over here and start going across. See what we have. You got just one orange one left?
I got 2 left. You want me to run and get some more?
Let's see what those two do first.
Okay.
Just keep pointing you right over here. I'm standing there by this tree here. I just went back past that stake, and they kept pointing me right towards that tree there.
Okay.
So I'm thinking where this channel is coming this direction, I'll find a couple of hits going that way, and then I'll know where I'm at.
Okay.
gallons per minute, which is more than double what you need for a house.
Sure.
All right, go up and grab that big stake over there and come up and it swings. So I was right in line, that tree there and this tree here is where it was telling me to come. And I still got the, the stakes out to triangulate it and just to make sure. And this is right where everything intersected. It's right there.
Awesome.
120 feet and 28 gallons a minute.
28 gallons a minute, 120 feet.
Okay, I'm going to write that down on that stake and come down and find it in. My dad saw how I was hammering that and he told me he's going to go buy me a short-handled hammer. Okay. Water line. It was a big one for the fire system, like 6 or 8 inch. I couldn't find it, so well, I can find it for you. So I just went in and cut a couple of pieces of wire and bent them. Went out there and here and there and stuff, so I walked it in a line and it's just right here.
Sure enough.
It's not. And I said, yes it is. Well, according to the map, you can do whatever you want, I'm just helping you out. So according to their map, we started digging. And this is in a parking lot too.
Oh no.
Yeah, so they dug up half the parking lot, couldn't find it. Well, maybe we ought to try it. So they come over and dug and there it was.
Well, so
But he's an engineer and he still wouldn't admit it.
Yeah.
Because he can't prove it.
So do you prefer the rods over the using a forked stick?
I do. This here works for me. I tried the copper wire. Didn't make any difference. These here, they work for me. Now each witch or dowser, they'll tell you something different, And I think it's all in the person, and I don't know if it's the way they're programmed or what's in their body or what. Sometimes a couple of beers helps to find it too.
Loosen up things a little.
I think all that is it relaxes you more so you don't hurt so much when you're done,
So it physically hurts your back to do this?
A little bit, yes. Not debilitating, but it is there. I know it's there.
Interesting. Interesting.
Well, my dad, he never drank, he never smoked, any of that. He was angel. And both my parents were. And he'd go out there and he'd do about the same thing. And so I don't know if that really has anything to do with it. It just seems to. Then after I started playing around with it a little bit, talking to another guy that done it, and he was telling me some of his tips and secrets and stuff, so I implemented them into what I was doing and stuff, and this is the way I've come up with what I'm doing here.
So you do kind of a grid.
Yeah,
you set up kind of a grid.
And find out where they're intersecting. Now you get down, especially on a shallow well, you can dig down, depending on where you're at, let's say Lewiston for example, you can dig down 6 feet and hit water, anywhere.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter until you get a dry year, like
Right.
this year.
Right.
Then they're gone.
Sure enough.
So if you find them, the grids, and where they cross and come into it, you might have to go a little deeper, you might not have to. But there's generally water there most of the time.
Wow, that's not a bad little well. All right, JD just left. He picked me 2 good well spots. One of them is 120 feet deep, which is you know, whatever. I mean, I figured it would be a little deeper, and that's the one that we'll use for the house more than likely. But he found one down here about 50 feet from where I'd been digging before, and he said it is 6 feet deep. Now, when he said it was 6 feet deep, I said, well, I'm gonna dig that up right now and see if it is in fact 6 feet deep. 6 feet deep, 14 gallons per minute. Boy, if he's accurate on that, that'd be humongous. So I'm gonna get my post hole digger that'll go down 6 feet, and we'll see what happens here. I ran up to get the backhoe to dig down 6 feet. I dug down about 3 feet with my auger by hand, and I started hitting rocks. So I ran up to get the backhoe to finish digging it. I only have a little bit of time before I got to start getting ready to go to an appointment, and I wasn't able to get the backhoe. So you're gonna have to watch for next week's video. I'm not gonna likely produce another video this week, but next week we will have the conclusion to this video, basically trying to determine if in fact he was accurate with 6 feet deep at that location and 14 gallons per minute. I hope and pray that he is spot on with that.